Hello. I am very quickly going to get my seeds and then probably quit. Or I might do some other stuff while I wait for Jim. Yeah, I'm very excited for the NieR Automata anime. I hope it's good. Um, I really don't want it to be a 1-1 retelling of the NieR Automata story, because I think NieR Automata really utilizes the video game storytelling. So if like the anime focused more on stuff like the background lore to the game, that's what I would want, like that sort of thing. Maybe a little bit more of what's been happening to A2 or something like that. I know that there are novels based on NieR Automata, like official ones, and I may have a look at reading those at some point.
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time.
Is there problems?
No?
Anyway.
Oh yeah, Emil's bringing it back.
Yeah.
There we
Are
go.
we gonna get the Kaine blade?
That's what I was wondering. It just said, it sounds implied, oh, there's Kaine's story, right? Kaine's dreams. Ooh.
Oh, I think would sound of rain filled the village. Steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly towards the wooded hawk-shaped weather vane at the centre of town. The wanderer reached the vane, which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with the pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. It says west, then I, the child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on, come on. The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the veins slowly creaked to life. Spinning this way and that for a moment, it finally settled with the beak pointing firmly towards the east. East? Really? Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and toppling through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground, and a hail of stones began to fall all around. Oh no, they found me. Could you read? I'm a little bit...
Okay, yeah. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. And through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo! Kaine! The voice belonged to Daimo, worst of all the bullies in the area. As Kaine struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Daimo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew these were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to this sensation. It was one she had experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of the children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated and, if possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, freak. Daimo's words chewed at her like a worm through an apple. He can't hurt me, she lied to herself. He's strong, he's brave. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. Oh look, the little freak is gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from a world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Daimo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. A failure. I wish Daimo's rock had taken my head off. Kaine couldn't meet Daimo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid wide open. Show me. No? Did you just say no? Daimo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Even taking his attention from Kaine, he called to his cohorts. Come on, guys. Let's give the freak what she deserves. As soon as Daimo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Daimo paused, still grinning, as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are. Kaine ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. It continued to point east as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. Freak, chanted the children. Freak, freak, freak. Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed all around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entire. The rain fell. The pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single bloody caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Daimo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. That's like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another. And if any of you little bastards ever touch Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Daimo was using to strike the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted it back and forth. Ow! He screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it! What are you doing? Quit whining. Ain't no one ever died from this scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch! A big one! That thing could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. Daimo's face twisted with rage at the word. Locking his eyes with Kaine, he took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out. Leave this village. No one wants you here. Either of you. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Daimo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Heh, look at that fat boy go. Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting up the blood on her forehead. "Oh, Kaine," she said, "why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot." The words of her grandmother stung Kaine, and she turned away. "Don't be nice to me," she said. "I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore." Her tears held in her cheek for so long finally began
Held
to...
in check.
Oh. I
It
thought...
is.
Well, that seemed weird.
Yeah.
Her tears held in check for so long finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. "Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead." As Kaine's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kaine found herself unable to turn away. "Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next, and it grants no mercy to any that attempts the crossing. You got a duty to fight to your last breath. Understand?" The old woman tightened her grip on... Oh my god. Blech. The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. "You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kaine. You know because you survived it." As the words hit home, Kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking down her face, that Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. "Do I make you sick, Grandma?" "Of course not. Don't be an ass!" Kaine drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. "But my body is not normal. If I was normal, then Mum and Dad wouldn't..." "Shh," interrupted Grandma. "I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter, and I love you, and if folks have a problem with that, they can just go to hell." With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh, these are lunatic.
This is what's hanging up outside the... You know where you first meet Kaine?
Yeah.
There's like a lunatic flower crown hanging up there.
Yeah. Grandma, you made this for me? Lunatias were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one, and yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Kaine reached up and touched the wreath as if she couldn't believe it was real. "Where did you find these?" "Just stumbled on them. It's while I was doing the shopping." The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been more difficult than she was letting on.
Bring on those goddamn...
Hello, Sky.
Hello, Sky.
Oh wow, so great. Hello.
Beans!
Thank you for the raise, Sky.
We weren't playing Sakura, we're playing NieR because I need to
Yes,
do my gardening, but we're also starting the second playthrough.
we've shifted to NieR for now, yeah.
Big Elden Ring hype tree. We're probably going to play multiple games.
How was your stream, Sky? And hi, Bandit, as well.
Hello.
The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers used in its construction, made Kaine's heart. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right, said Grandmother as she squinted at it. These old hands have trouble with delicate work. But it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Annie blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Of course you are. What a fool thing to say.
Something Cat Quest.
Cat
Nice,
Quest
what's
2.
that?
That sounds like something Colin would
Yeah.
like. Thank you, Grandma. Her grandmother smiled. We're going to be fine, she said. As long as we have each other, we'll just be fine. Tiny took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Tiny gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the way. The rain stopped. Tiny stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. Even if it's us against the world. Penny let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. Are we still... Oh my god.
How much Kaine dialogue is there?
Cat Quest iOS. Elder Scrolls or Zelda style overworld map, but with cats and loads of cat puns. Okay, Sky.
Yeah, I probably won't talk too much because my throat is pretty sore. But
Yeah, right, well.
yeah,
I think we're gonna have to edit this bit and put it into NieR
yeah.
playthrough.
In the distance, Kaine heard the steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had a purposeful quality to it, as if she was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. Firewood being produced, however, was far from a work of art. It could be pieces of every shape and size being flung around a barren yard while abandoned. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Stupid piece of shit axe. Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. Grandma, called Kaine. Thank you, Kaine, yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. That you?
Okay.
Don't get too close or I might
Oh no.
take your goddamn foot off by mistake. She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she'd scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, Grandma, do you need help? I can get you water or lunch or a new axe or something? The axe, poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, then smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss poor job of chopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get the water? Shades have been restless lately, and I don't want you running into one of the bastards. Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandpa's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with chores, but Grandpa took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason. She didn't want her granddaughter to be haunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the Eyrie. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter, and rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood when she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke. The tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaede swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it, crap.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, Brandon's talking about Groot? Are you talking about Groot? What's going on?
Kaede was just trying to decapitate Groot.
Oh no, Groot's dead! She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Fuck you, Groot!
Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with a blade, but the task was challenging. Blisters soon began to form on her small pink hands. This is tough. My logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kaede redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one of the logs and puffed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy girl, you better practice if you... Grandma suddenly collapsed at her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kaede dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. Grandma. The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling finger at the bucket. Get the bucket, can't let it spill. Kaede steadied the bucket with a foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water splashed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress, but Kaede didn't notice. Grandma, what's happening? Close with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and battered Kaede away. Stop that, just stop, she cried, breathing heavily. It ain't like I'm dying, just tired from the trip is all. Kaede desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than words ever could. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was finally coming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kaede was ending, sooner than either of them had feared the position to be reversed. The next morning, Kaede came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. Grandma, you're sick and you need medicine. We're going to the village. The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaede gently pushed her down. It's all right, she said on the line. Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt the steel. After what seemed an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed.
I think I should read.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like it, goddammit. But I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up. The old woman watched as Kaede strapped on her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across a dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kaede moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother had given her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or worse, Daimo in the game. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kaede finally found herself at the entrance of the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaede took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. She chanted those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. Okay, Sky, we'll see you later.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Thank you
soon.
for stopping.
Yeah, thanks for the raid.
Hey, lady, said Kaine, with a bravado she did not feel. Where's the apothecary? The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. How dare this thing speak to me? They seemed to say, but Kaine saw that her eyes held a different emotion. Fear. Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me. Which way? Kaine repeated. The woman pointed at a small building on her right, before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kaine cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary. But the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Diamond. He'd clearly been sent here on some kind of family errand, because his gang of followers was nowhere to be found. Oh my goodness, he sputtered. What are you doing here, freak? The insult was delivered without force, and Kaine happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for medication. Black Diamond. That old bitch finally keel over? Go to hell, Daimo. The boy's eyes grew so wide they seemed ready to fall out of his head. But before he could let fly a comeback or worse, punch, the apothecary told them to knock it off before he kicked them out of the store. Daimo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kaine under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic, but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely in a world so vast, there would be a place that she could call home. On the far wall behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young woman. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colours, but time had worked its cruel magic, and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. You like that picture? Kaine turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her and into nothing as he spoke. That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was very little. He's been dead for time. Kaine didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. Pictures are wonderful things, continued the shopkeeper. They let the ones closest to you live on forever. He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kaine and smiled. Handing her the medicine, he reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. You should have these. There's no one left here. There's no one left that I wish to draw. Kaine took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Yes, I've heard the rumors about you, he said. It's a small village and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe, but I also don't think they matter. I know your grandmother, Kali, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just... Grandmother's name is suddenly. She was still mulling this new fact over in her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hand. Your grandmother is an old friend of mine, says Kaine, scooting away yet again, and I hope I wager she would like it if you drew a picture. Yes, I think she would like that very much. Kaine murmured a quiet agreement, but instead her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless, and with enough tiny steps she might one day discover the rest. When Kaine returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding in a bit in places, leading Kaine to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally came up. What up? She placed the medicine on her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. back already, are you? Asked her grandmother with a yawn. Come here. Let me have a look at you. Grandma sat up and examined Kaine from head to toe, finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild. She leaned back and allowed herself to relax. Well, how was it? Those bastards give you any trouble? Those bastards. It was kind of fun, said Kaine with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. Fun. The grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but. Anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of the source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch her portrait. Portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma, it'll make you live forever. Oh shit, said the grandmother, throwing back the sheet from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help with dinner. Kaine would not relent. In the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house, as if posing for a master artist. Kaine took up the crayons, eyed her subject carefully, and set them. Just as her grandmother was about to run off, Kaine finished the piece. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift. It's terrible. It doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought these crayons would, make drawing easy or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed as her granddaughter's disappointed. Let me be the judge of that.
You're gonna stick it up on the fridge?
She said, ignoring the pain on her back and reaching for paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It also could have been a bowl, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread. But all rendered a chaotic array of things.
By Kaine, age 12.
The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kaine, she said, between laughter, you truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But, hush, I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. Yes!
They don't have a fridge.
In the days that followed, Kaine would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face. An action she interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. A week later, Kaine could stand it no more and asked her grandmother to take the artwork down. Posh, said the old woman. I'll take this down when they roll me out of in a shroud. She pondered this for a bit, and turned to Kaine and dropped to her knee. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before. It makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness. It was a moment that burned itself in Kaine's memory. A perfect blend of pride and love and joy came together to form a lifelong memory. Swore to never forget this. Never forget the old woman who had made her place in the world. Time moves on. People and memories move in and out of life like ghosts passing through a hole. This moment will be different because I'll remember it forever. Forever.
What? I just wanted to do some gardening.
All we wanted was to do some flowers.
Yes. Hello, Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She was pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug.
Hold on. Hi, Larry. How's your day been? How are you doing? We're at a very dialogue writing bit of this game. All we wanted to do was plant some flowers in the game, but we have to do this intro bit. It is interesting. I'm getting we're getting more of an explanation of why Kaine is the way she is, right? You know.
Yeah.
But God, does it go on?
Yeah, like how many of these are there?
The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. She snorted that cocaine right up. It's no bug, you fool girl. It's a berry. Why the hell would you be feeding you? Why
Well,
the
how
hell
would I be feeding you bugs?
God damn it.
Yeah, well, she looks like a bug, and I think it's burnt or something because it smells terrible.
With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing it as little as possible. Oh yeah, that's terrible, alright. Why, you little brat, laughed the old woman. Look at the sass on you. And look at that ass on you. You've been spending too much time on me, and that's a fact. 5 years had passed since the moment when Kaine's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As is often the way with two stubborn people, their relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and cold abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time when she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do as many of the chores as she used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kaine lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burned berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked her grandmother suddenly. Kaine looked up, surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. "Well, I was going to check out the kelma trees and see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow." "Flagstones? Where the hell for?" Kaine stared at her grandmother, then held out an arm and swept it around the home. Constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble, the whole place sagged like a boulder.
The mocks are in the final round.
Oh, I see. Grandma, a dying cat, could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection. Hold on, long and drawn out, and to quote Bilbo, I feel like butter spread over too much bread. I know that feeling. The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. "Goddamn girl, if a bunch of thieves want to ransack this place, let them come. We ain't got nothing worth stealing anyway. I'm not worried about thieves, I'm worried about shades. People saw one west of the village yesterday." The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. "Well, shoot. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other. Grandma, no. If I don't go to the kelma trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that." The confused expression passed across the old woman's face. For a moment she was a small child lost in a carnival. "Yes," she said after a bit. "Yes, of course, you're right. I'm sorry, Kaine. Lately it seems my mind is..." She didn't finish the thought. Instead walking over to the nightstand and gently taking the wreath of luteas from the drawer, the flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than the day when she had received it. "You're going to be a true woman soon," Grandmother said as she placed the flowers on the girl's hair. "So that means less chatter about shades and building defensive walls and more talk about how beautiful you've become." Annoyed, Kaine reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. "You're a beautiful thing," said the old woman, "and there ain't another flower like you in
But there ain't another like you in the world."
Oh, I'm sorry. I had the better line. Yoko Taro, you're a hack. I'm very proud of you. Okay, Grandma. That's enough of those goddamn compliments for one day. Such a mouthful. Where did that come from? Gee, I fucking wonder. I'll teach you to sass me, girl, yelled Grandma. Suddenly she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. Grandma, yelled Kaine in a quaking voice. Grandma, stop it! What the hell? The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out as if it was the first time she'd ever seen them. Ooh, oh, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just... Kaine thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she had ever seen. Listen, she began. Maybe I should stay home after. No, I won't have you stay here to keep an eye on an old codger like me. You go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. When you come back, we'll have nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you. Kaine rolled her eyes and kissed her grandmother on the forehead, made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that had been gnawing at the walls of her heart. Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself, but in the end, the temptation was too great. She spun on her heel one last look and saw a small bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle but with a sad...
Ramshackle heart with a sad expression on her face.
Yes. God, she looked so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kaine pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just ahead. Tracing its path with her finger, Kaine suddenly felt her stomach knot in on itself. Ugh. No! Oh God, no! Her grandmother's... Oh. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if trying to touch the sky inside. Grandma! Grandma! Kaine ran and then, faster than she had ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawling into the rocky ground, she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hand. As she got closer and closer, Kaine's mind began to race in time with her footfall. It's too dark. It's too dark, not just fire. Can't be fire. Too much smoke. I was safe. I was safe. Burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt. The worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingled with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shape. The massive creature supported itself from 3 twisted feet and achieved balance through means of a large armed tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from his body in a random chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine let out a roar and flipped his tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into this is pissing me off. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmering, inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, a blend of rotted meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time Kaine responded with a scream of her own. Alright, you bastard, she thought as her scream echoed off the hill cliffs around. Fuck my life!
Let's go.
The shade eyed Kaine with bemused interest. Then it began looking from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced towards the house. Through the smoke and flames, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruin. Grandma! At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. She's alive, thought Kaine. Alive! Kaine's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard towards the flaming wreckage of the hose. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot the trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs moved. Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Now! As Kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped toward the house, pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air and collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched to her feet, only to fall back to the earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire, one or both of them had surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on, just a little longer. The grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only the whites were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, the distance seeming to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between the two women and licked out his tongue, his giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short panting breaths belched from somewhere deep inside his core. Bastard, laughing at us. She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt the shade was taking joy in their suffering. Yeah, I see your plan. The shade moved its claws slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive only to snuff her out when Kaine was close enough to touch her. Kill this bastard. Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap with her right ankle as the foot twisted back, but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble toward it. Pulling a small knife from the pouch in her waist, she leapt on one foot, came to the grandmother, and punched the weapon deep. Give her back, she screamed. Give her back to me! It was like stabbing a rock.
Like stabbing a rock.
Like stabbing a rock. Ugh. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt and Bill snapped. The shade panted laughter. Yeah, the shade panted laughter again, raised its tail and sent him pushing through the air toward the young girl that was latched to his feet. Kaine never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke. Kaine's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the ground. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her through the smoke. Grandma? Kaine, gotta run. Can't rest this way. Kaine grabbed the hands and held them with strength. Grandma, come on, we have to go. The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and plumped to the ground. Grandma, no, no! I said run, goddammit. You have to live. You have to get through. The thought would stay forever unfinished. Before she could say another word, the shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed from gaps in the creature's toes as the terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted his appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Grandmother was gone. Tiny blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been hers just a moment. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of the embrace, the trembling of the fingers, but then the sensation drifted away on the breeze. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind, one after another, faster and faster, until they became a meaningless jangle of words. Kaine screamed, a thunderous sound that echoed up the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving into smoke on the mountain. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose as if controlled by a blood. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles, her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature so confident just moments before took a slow, hesitant step backward, trying to discern if this broken woman could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the moment, laughing like a madwoman. She leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilts of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The shade shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly, as if a great weight rested. Moist sounds of pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. Is that blood? I think it is. I think I'm bleeding to death. No. I'll die. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke, and the flames. All of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. I've seen this lyric. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Dun, dun, dun. As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. Alright, bitches, you back.
See, NieR is holding the West by laughing with.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I believe all the side quests you've done before are still like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember this?
Oh, I'm playing as NieR, so I expect he's going to come back.
I don't think you do. I think it's just like Kaine's story. I don't think you're gonna.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking I'd expect I'd be playing as Kaine.
How did it even survive?
that'd be cool, but no, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's kind of like in Automata, you do the 2B bit and then you do the 9 bit. I've got to fight this thing again. I'm like, what, level 28?
It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
Ollie, you've got to. Hit it! Hit it! Gonna hit those tentacles. Oh, it's like doing no damage.
Yeah.
What a heck? Get the
Yeah,
thing!
I'm trying to.
Get the thing! The thing! It's not there. Okay.
There we go.
You managed to do it anyway.
Stabby, stabby with my big fork.
Yeah, we're gonna have like this is gonna be like a really short bit of NieR that I'll have to edit into being a part.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll put it on the end of a part or something. I don't know.
Just edit it as like interlude NieR.
I guess so. I think it just crushes. It just like fucking chokes this mother
So
out.
we choke this bastard, and now we do my gardening.
Choke him out. So last time we learned that shades are people.
Yeah.
So
Well, what I want to know is like, why do like human souls become evil when separated from the body?
please tell me we're not doing more. No.
Oh god.
God damn it! I can't believe this bullshit.
Gently, weakly, softly, the shade, sure that its tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off towards the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Couldn't kill it. Shame beyond imagining, Kaine tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realise that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home and noticed a ragged stump of arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. This is going to make clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depth of her mind. Finally gonna die, are you? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought at the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck your eyes out and feed them to a dog. The voice of her childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materialised from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you, that way you can live forever. No, stop. Don't want to live forever. Want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, if that's what you want. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaine and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of her grandmother, real as life. Kaine opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, dozens of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. No, stop, no, don't hurt that picture. Kaine reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely in the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture and to the ground below, where they vanished into the black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kaine turned her good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognisable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried as he danced his jig. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Ha-cha-cha. I look like that? Oh god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kaine laid her head back in the mud and the smoke of her ruined house and waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. Ain't you got a wish, sunshine? The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a way to take form. Kaine wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, a wish, like a prayer or something. Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me, save me! Blah, blah, blah. Kaine finally resorted to shouting at the voice with her mind. I don't make wishes, they don't come true for me. I'm a curse of freak, I should be left to die. So I wonder if this is the shade possessing her body.
Maybe.
The other voice boomed in her ears. Wah ha ha, oh god, you're the best. Kaine glanced down and saw a black, shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet and then began moving up towards the rest of her body. I feel like this explains all the bandages she's wearing.
Maybe.
Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upwards, feel the hot searing pain it left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, she was still alive and this was real. Come on, said the voice, let it go. Kaine tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine. You're ready to give up, ready to die, so why not let me have it? Have what? Your body. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind.
Feel the rain on your skin.
The voice paused as if licking its lips, but it resumed. It was filled with mad, unbated joy. And I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in the blood just like before. In response, Kaine shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain of the encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade? Yeah, maybe one of it. The slime reached her face, crept up past her nose, and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kaine was struck by the most powerful sensation she'd ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small whispered moan. Feels good, don't it? Asked the voice with a chuckle. Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now give me that body. Come on, give me the body and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade. A black clump began to protrude from Kaine's side. As she watched, it grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back too. The slime reached up to envelope the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marveling at how she had regained her voice. Stop! Black ooze hesitated, as if considering this request, then quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. What the hell, Sunshine? Screamed the voice. We had a deal. I thought you wanted to die.
Is this Is this hold on one second.
Is this the TV disconnecting, or is it literally just black here?
Unclear.
Yeah. Grandma said can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her and heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes to force the image from her mind. Her whole body was waking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. I think to my grandmother, I have to kill it before I die. Fanny glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern. The pattern of the shades burned itself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerfully. Look at that, Sunshine. I think you and me are going to be good friends now. Fanny stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the letters seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. Stop, gotta stop, holding her left arm in her right. Fanny took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, don't fight it, pleaded the voice. Cake's my favourite dish, and I'm hungry. Let it go. Feel the anger, burn with the fire of revenge, thirst for blood. Then go out there and... Shut up, and get the hell out of my body. Your body? Oh, that's rich, Sunshine. Real rich. Look, why don't you just jump up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those buddies of yours in the area would love to see you dead. Patty grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the shade-infected portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. Patty screamed and dropped the shard as the sound of bone crunching on bone filled the air. Yeah, stupid idiot girl, you're possessed now, Sunshine. There ain't no going back. The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. Possessed? Whispered Kaine. Yeah, possessed. You and me, we got what you might call a timeshare arrangement. Remember how folks used to think you were free? Wait till they get a load of you now. Fanny looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? So listen, I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all that bad. There's plenty in it for you too. I'm a very powerful creature, Sunshine, and now that power belongs to you. You got enemies, people you want to kill, I can make it happen. That little fat kid who kept picking on you, big old shade that squashed your granny, will wrap them up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, Sunshine, no more pain. Wait, you're a shade? Why would you help me kill another shade? What, you think I'm some kind of racist? Some killing stop? I don't give a good goddamn who you murder, honey pants. I just want to drink from the well. Fanny considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away with the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So how about it, you and me? We could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't want. Fuck off, asshole. I'll handle the killing. Yeah, whispered the voice. Look at you, oh Sunshine, we're gonna have so much fun. So listen, my name's Tyran. And if you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this place of meat you call a heart. Piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour, and I like rotten and sour. Kylie found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, she said. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm gonna find that shade, I'm gonna strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tyron. Count on it. Ha! Laughed Tyron. I've shit bigger than you, so good luck with that. Oh hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body. But if you ever run out of paint, if you ever, go soft, then I'm gonna take over everything. So keep on killing, Sunshine, and watch your back.
Hello.
Hello.
Milk Leo.
Hello, Leo.
Um,
So keep on killing, Sunshine, and watch your back. The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away.
just
Fading
so
to
you
somewhere
know,
deep inside
hold on,
Kaine herself.
just so you know, Leo, this is like a very there's words, and they won't stop.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get through this soon.
I just wanted to do some gardening. Kaine waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new left arm around a few times. Feels pretty normal, she thought. Feels like mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding at the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. I'm not a shade, I am Kaine. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubble of her house, being careful to ignore a certain red-stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was the wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals were as bright as ever. Kaine started to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry, but I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. And this time, I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaine fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened to dawn, and the people of the area arose in their daily lives, she remained in that position, as if tears could somehow wash away the horror that now infected her world.
So okay, something I want to talk about real quick.
Alive.
Yeah.
Stay alive.
So
Stay alive.
you know the whole they were calling her a freak before.
Yeah.
They were calling her a freak before
You
she was
gotta
possessed by
live.
shit.
You gotta come
Yeah.
back to us.
So I think that's maybe what gives credence to this idea that like she's like intersex.
I'm pretty sure that's canonical.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Yoko Taro has talked about it as well.
I still wonder something though.
Yeah.
Why do people know that?
It's one of those things that I'm pretty sure is in the law.
No, but why do the people in the world know?
Yeah. You're tired as fuck. Yeah, I'm pretty ill. Spent most of today achy and in bed.
You were the one calling me, weren't you? You still recognize me? Of course. I knew you right away. Thank you, Kaine.
Oh, maybe.
Welcome back, Kaine.
Wow, you grew up. So, how long has it been?
5 years.
I just realised, doesn't everyone have the hot for NieR in this?
Shit.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
By the way, this is for you.
Is that a lunar tear?
It's not as good as your grandmother's, but I tried.
No, it's great. Thank you.
Kaine waking from her long petrified sleep. Meal's unflagging kindness. Our reunion was a happy one, and we let it wash over us like rain. That is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all.
That's the whole thing it kicked out.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You can't be serious!
So, you know what we know about
Please,
Poplar and
don't
Devlin now?
Yeah.
Do you think the whole kicking them out thing is because of this somehow. It's somehow them being around is a bad idea for them or
People are
something.
tired
Yeah.
and scared, and
I think
I'm
it's
sorry.
partially because they're
sorry
kind of
you have to
scared
bear
of
the brunt of
Kaine
it.
and Emil, but also, like, Poplar and Evelyn might have motivation to keep those two away.
This is crap, and you know it.
Which Emil is, like, the ultimate
It's
weapon.
okay. We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village, and now they want to run you out?
People are
Yeah.
afraid of us. And really, I understand. I mean, look at me.
Emil's
As long
cute.
as you're still with us.
Emily's a
I can
cute,
deal.
floaty boy.
Yeah, I love his big round head.
Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
But
We'll see you later.
sorry about this.
I'd like to know the long conversations Kaine and Emil have about what happened over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
What is the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about that until just now. Never even occurred to me. Damn it.
We should turn in.
I want to do my fucking gardening. Watch my plants, like, not even be seeds.
I didn't get much sleep that night.
Too busy thinking about my moonflowers.
For the first time in my life, I hated Devila. For the first time in my life, I doubted Popola. But those feelings are pointless in the end. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village.
Ah,
To protect it from the horror of the Shades.
thing is, we don't actually hear anyone explicitly say they don't want Kaine or Emil around. We just
Yeah.
hear Popple and Devil
We just
say
hear
it.
Popple
How
and
can I
Devil
blame
say that,
Devila
yeah.
and Popola? In the end, I'm just as bad.
I mean, I wonder if the people of this village are aware of I kind of stand out why Kaine is afraid to go into villages.
Emil's situation myself.
Well, and I think, to be honest though, if they look at Emil and be weirded out, I have to still question, well, what makes,
Why is the floating book okay? Not little round head Emil. He's so cute. He
Okay.
has a very adorable soft voice.
So here's a plan. Here's a theory, right? Weiss is like connected to NieR,
Yeah.
and they need NieR
I
to
should
go about.
apologize to Kaine in it, but what good would that even do?
I got a fire going, Kaine.
Wait,
Good.
They need NieR to go about.
I'm so
into the
happy to
towers.
get to talk to you again,
Yeah.
Kaine.
Oh,
Yeah.
get more.
Me too.
I tried everything I could think of to save you, you know. I polished you with a special cloth. I poured warm water over you.
Wait, you poured water on me?
Yeah, but it didn't really do much except make you all shiny.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look different now.
I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry for all of it.
Well, I mean, this new form isn't all bad, you know? At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
I'm not very interesting. Sorry.
Come on, I just want to know you better. Please?
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession thing. My body is different. And when the villagers found out about it, they started treating me like a freak. But one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was, no matter how bad things got. She gave me the strength to keep going.
She's really special to you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey! That gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession in my body. I know we can do it if we all work together. Heck, it'll probably be super easy.
Let me guess. More warm water?
Okay, can we just forget I told you about that?
Oh. Oh, that's adorable.
So I think that we get like extra scenes and stuff in this.
Yeah.
playthrough. So.
Sleep well.
Sure.
And yet you're Don't be so...
I
Shit.
need to go see Devila and Popola.
Very well.
Alright. Take.
Gold.
Now, I'm pretty sure that on the left is actually like your quest. Just so you know.
What might that be?
It's Mom's diary.
Yeah.
I have not heard you speak much about your mother.
She got the Black Scrawl and died when I was little.
My apologies for bringing it up.
It's all right. I can barely remember her face anymore. This is the only thing I have left of her. Reading it helps remind me of when we were still a family.
I see.
But the final entries get a little strange.
In what way?
Well, here, take a look.
I wonder if we should.
I just want to do my gardening.
Say there. Can you not hear me?
Guess who you are?
Why are you
Am I
standing
Dad,
about
dear?
like a slack-jawed ninny?
Sorry. Felt like I was dreaming or something.
Sleeping on one's feet is quite the talent indeed.
This looks like that
Come
scene
now.
of Full Metal
There's the
Alchemist.
door.
Right. Let's go.
Where am I supposed to go?
The other door. So do you want to go? Let's go back. Can we go back?
Yeah, I will do this.
So these are like, as far as I know, these are like challenge things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can like come back to this.
Okay.
Apparently that was an old DLC thing that got added to the original NieR.
Okay.
And it's just in Replicant automatically.
Yeah.
Apparently we need to do those in order to get like endings C and D.
Okay. Well, I will do those some other time then.
My word.
Something wrong?
I feel as if I've just awoken from a most unpleasant dream.
I know what you mean. That happens to me whenever I read it.
Alright, let's see these fucking plans! Oh yeah, they've wilted. That's what you want. Let's see what we got. Two moonflower seeds. Holly, take the seeds. I can see some indigo ones.
Yeah.
Gold. What's good as well is that this means you can like replant one.
Yeah. There's some different coloured blue.
Those ones are definitely indigo. Which you want. Need indigo.
Yeah. And even so, I've got more seeds, so I can start growing more red and blue.
Yeah.
But I won't do that right
This is the
now.
thing that we wanted you to do for the last, like, I think it's probably
Yeah.
solid 40 minutes.
Do you want to go back to Sekiro after this?
Yeah.
Like we planned to. I will
Yeah.
I will get myself all them and then we can go places to Sekiro.
Okay.
Indigo!
We got some indigo.
We'll have the indigo together to get the pink.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Do you need to have 10 pink, though?
So,
Maybe you should try and use some of that bounty.
yeah, more flowering fertilizer.
Yeah. I do wonder, though, about when you should plant these.
Yeah.
Because maybe you shouldn't plant them now.
Yeah, so I think I probably won't plant them now. I won't plant them until we know we're going to stream NieR again the next day.
Yeah. Sure.
Like, because I know Elden Ring Hype Week is why we're doing this.
I mean, I guess you could, well... No, timing-wise, you know, it's not going to work now.
Yeah, because we're going to get Elden Ring and then we're just going to play Elden Ring for a while.
The problem is that if you went and looked at them tomorrow,
Yeah,
they'd be grown, not wilted.
yeah.
So, yeah. But you should have quite a lot of indigo now.
Let's see how much indigo I have.
It's not in the quest. Also, yeah, you'll have to pick
I
up...
have to pick it up again, but I'll make sure I have it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the important thing is really having the items. So you got 7 indigo ones.
Yeah.
You'll need more. I can tell. You'll need more.
Yeah, well, I know how to grow them.
Yeah. Kind of like a mini game all its own again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just like get the quests.
I won't do those today, though.
I know. I'm just saying you can pick them
I'm
up.
just running around to pick stuff up.
Like, I'm sure there's the knife one to do again. You'll have to. The
The
thing is,
knife one is in Seafront.
I believe if you started them but didn't complete them, then you'll have to like restart.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. So yeah.
But, well, that's done. So I guess we'll include this bit in NieR playthrough.
Yeah, we'll put it in a VOD.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll have to edit it out, which is annoying, but
I'm
yeah.
gonna swap over to Sekiro. I'm gonna get myself some medicine.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Swapping over now. More Sekiro in a bit. Bye bye.